Turning now to Iraq, where dozens of nurses from India are free after being trapped in Tikrit. At the same time, Iraq's prime minister is defiant, and a top religious leader renews a plea to form a government. Ryan Lucas of the Associated Press is following developments for us in Baghdad. Ryan, what can you tell us about these nurses? I imagine a terrifying ordeal is over at last.
Well, as you said, they were in the city of Tikrit, north of Baghdad, when the militants led by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, an extremist group, swept across much of northern and western Baghdad. The nurses who had been working at a hospital in the city were caught behind the front lines as the militant push swept south. It's not exactly clear whether they were abducted, kidnapped, or just stuck in Tikrit. Yesterday, the Indian government came out and said that the nurses had been moved from Tikrit, where an Iraqi government offensive is taking place, and moved to another city. As it turns out, they were taken to the northern city of Mosul, which is also under militant control. And then today, the Indian government came out and said that the nurses were now safe. As it turns out, they were taken from Mosul across to the autonomous Kurdish region in Iraq, and from there taken to the capital of the Kurdish region, Erbil, and this evening they flew out on an Indian government plane to return home to India and their families.
So what are we hearing from Iraq's powerful Shiite cleric, Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani? He made some comments during Friday prayers, essentially putting pressure on the Iraqi government to put aside their differences in the parliament and form a new government.
Well, this is the second time actually in the span of a week that the top Shiite cleric, Ali al-Sistani, has spoken about the need for Iraq's political leadership to put their differences aside and to form a new government that can lead the country through the crisis and hold it together as well. Today, he said that Parliament's inability on Tuesday during its inaugural session to make any sort of headway on naming a new prime minister, a new speaker of parliament, and a new president was a regrettable failure. And he urged lawmakers to this week, or excuse me, in the coming week, to quickly come together and actually make a decision on new leadership. Now, Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki today issued a statement this evening actually saying, I am not going to give up my candidacy. I'm not going to relinquish the nomination to become prime minister. Basically, he's saying, I'm not going anywhere. The rest of Iraq's political class can debate about this, but I am going to insist on being prime minister. And what this basically means is that the political deadlock that we've seen in Iraq is going to continue for quite some time.
All right, thank you so much. Ryan Lucas joining us live from Baghdad.